Hi folks, how you doing? Russell, TrueResults303.com. Check out the website, link in the description box. Mind, body, spirit, fitness. Putting the healing back in health. Follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. The podcast is out there. Links down below, description land. Coming at you today with a video on why boundaries, regulations, rules, whatever you want to call them, are a very good thing. And I'm going to start off with, I was listening to a podcast the other week, and this guy brought it up. I didn't get to look it up, but he said research and studies show that when people are put in an area or given a task with regulations or rules or a certain set of rules to follow, they are more creative, right? And I think what another great example of this is hip-hop music, right? I was just watching part of a series on Netflix about the evolution or the history of hip-hop, and that's when they say that's what it started with, scratching those records, confined into their space, into their reality, and they came out with something beautiful out of all of that, which is hip-hop music, the hip-hop culture, if it's something that you can see as a beautiful thing. And if you can't, that just means you're not listening to the right artists, because there's a lot of beautiful hip-hop music out there that I listen to anyways. But once again, I think the same thing comes out of, I've heard Father Robert Barron say it best with a golf swing, right? No matter what, there are mechanics when it comes to swinging a bat, to shooting a ball, to a slap shot, anything like that. There are certain techniques and steps you need to go. And once you know those basic foundations of how the swing works, how the shot works, all those, the steps, then you can start to mold it into your own thing, right? Same thing with the physicist or the mathematician that comes up with that ground-breaking mathematical equation. Well, it started with addition, right? Addition and subtraction, multiplication, division, algebra, and he slowly moved his way up, statistics, all the calculus. He had to take those steps to be able to get to the part to where now his mind could roam free and he could think, but he needed to put himself inside these boxes until he got there and was able to get to that mathematical breakthrough. I think the same thing, like I will say, goes into play on a field, on a football field, on a baseball field. I'll start with a football field, right? There's a football field, which is fine. You have the borders, right? The boundaries, the out of bounds. Now that we have the out of bounds, that creates the ability for man to think, oh my goodness, I can bust a spin move, right? I can run at the out of bounds while the guy's chasing me, stop, pivot, spin back into play, and for us as spectators, we're like, holy smokes, did you see that? But if there was no out of bounds line, he would just always continually run. He would always run no matter what. Why? Because that boundary made him think of something that he needed to create to get back into play and now, further the ball down the field. So that boundary, that rule, that regulation made it better. The game better, right? Or same thing, like you can't hold a lineman. So what do? On defensemen, you can't hold the defensive player. So when they're blocking, you come up with blocking schemes, right? They have the stunt where you have the two guys. This guy's going to come in and hit his guy, hopefully coming across and hitting the guy in front of the other man. His man will also suck in, so now he's getting double teamed, gives this guy the ability to come around into the open hole. So now we're coming up with schemes and ways to manipulate the game to make it more interesting. Creativity based on a boundary or a rule. So we've got to understand that these boundaries and these rules can become something beautiful. Into religion, I made a video on Buddhism a while back, and the guy was, because I made a whole Buddhist video based on this guy, and someone's like, he's not even a Buddhist. It's like, well, he's the one that I got the video from. That's where I got the concept for it was, what the heck was his name? I've got it upstairs. I should have looked for it. But anyways, this guy was talking about it. And just like Christianity, where we have all these different sects and everything breaks down, we as Catholics, I am Catholic, I am a Catholic Christian, believe that we are the original form of Christianity. However anyone else wants to say it, hey, it is what it is, that's what we believe. But the same thing, it sounds like, is happening in Buddhism, to where this guy talked about how the original form of Buddhism was clearing the mind into nothingness, right? And then that's where these thoughts can come in. Not positive thinking, not positive affirmations, all these types of things. It was thinking of nothing so that something beautiful can come from nothing, right? Same concept of the Big Bang. It started with nothing, and then we've got this whole universe, right? Or he said, same with a seed, an apple seed. He said, if you cut that seed open, what's inside of it? Nothing. But from that one seed can come multiple trees, you know, hundreds of thousands of other apples from nothing. But now we've gotten into this whole spiritual but not religious, and it's, oh, think happy thoughts, think this, think that. So Buddhism has even gotten out of place and lost its way. That's the way it was explained by the gentleman in that video, or that talk I was listening to. And it was actually from a book that I bought on Buddhism. It was just an extra talk included in it. And that's the same thing that happens with Christianity. When Christianity loses its boundaries of Jesus is not a teacher, right? He is God in human form. He is our Savior, right? So nowadays everybody just wants to look for a teacher. Well, Jesus was not a teacher. Yes, he was the example, but he was God himself. And once we lose that concept of he was crucified, died, buried, resurrected on the third day, came back to life, once we lose that construct of what Christianity is, that's where we get these concepts of people where all you have to do is be a good person and you'll go to heaven. No, that's not what God teaches. That's not what Jesus taught. That's why he says when you get to the pearly gates and those people say, well, did we not prophesy in your name? Did we not preach your name? And he will say, get away from me, I never knew you. Right? Because it's more than just talking about it, it's living that lifestyle. And when Christianity loses its boundaries and the box that it started from, that's what happens as well. It's I can just sit at home and read the Bible and everything's okay. I can just read a spiritual book, that's okay. I can just talk about it and I can just preach it but not practice it. And that's what happens when these solid foundations lose their structure. It's like I made another video called Why We Need the Box That We Live In. We need the box we live in, right? We need that box. Yes, I understand thinking outside the box can be a beautiful thing, but if we forget the box completely, then we lose ourselves, because those are our moral values. Those are the standards that we hold within ourselves, to say that no matter what, I will not do this. I don't care how much money I am offered, I will not do this, right? I will not prostitute my soul, my being for money, fame, and fortune. So you need those rules, those standards, those 10 commandments, whatever you want to call them, to say that no matter what, I will always stick to this standard. I will not let this be compromised about the person that I am. But once again, now you need to know the true person you are, right? You need to understand your boundaries and this or that. It's like me a while back when I decided to stop drinking. I stopped drinking for like a year and a half. And then it's all this concept of, oh, wine is healthy for you. Wine is great. So next thing you know, it's like, oh yeah, I'll have a glass of wine a day. 1 glass of wine. Turned into 2. Turned into 3. Turned into a bottle. I was buying boxes of wine. Doesn't matter how healthy wine is for you if you are losing the person that you are based on this nutrient that is in this product. And then when you look at the research even more, to actually get the benefits of the resveratrol that is inside of wine, you would have to drink so much that you would die of alcohol poisoning before it ever even helped you. So you're better off just buying the supplement. So once again, boundaries can be a great thing. Now, once again, there can be too many boundaries, right? That would be that equivalent of micromanaging. It's the same thing if you look at soccer. Soccer is fairly boring, in my opinion. Not a fan. But if you watch indoor soccer, it's a lot more interesting, right? It has the same rules. All they did was shorten up the field and then they took away out of bounds. But there's still these other rules and regulations within the game. But the game now becomes 10 times more interesting, right? Same thing with why roller hockey is more exciting to watch than ice hockey, right? There's no offsides. It's only 4-on-4, right? So when you take away offsides and it's only 4-on-4, it becomes a lot faster. But they still keep a majority of the same rules, and you can't hit in that. So it becomes more exciting to watch, but there's less fighting and violence within the game. But it's more exciting to watch. So once again, there is a time where too many regulations can be bad, but in reality, rules, regulations, and laws can add great benefit to society, great benefit to a person, great benefit to life in general. So, once again, something to think about. How boundaries can be a great thing within our lives. And I want you to think about that for a little bit. Like I've said in a few videos, I need to start saying it more. Once you get done with this video, don't go to the next one. Shut your laptop down, or just shut the screen. Put the screen down. Put your phone on sleep, and really contemplate what's just been brought up, the topic. Think about it. Come up with your own conclusions about it as well. I want you to truly soak in this information and let me know what your thoughts are. So once again, I hope this helps. Don't forget to follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Podcast is out there. Subscribe to this channel. Share and like these videos.